Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Nunheimer. I'm the chairman of the Boston. I'm at Boston. Welcome to the new year. Barnstable Town Licensing Authority. With me to my right is John Flores, Mr. Larry Decker, Nancy Carlson-Lindman, and Jessica Silver. With me to my left is Mr. David Anthony, Director of Asset Management, and our Officer Liaison, Officer Kelsey. And with us today also is our interim Deputy Director of Asset Management and Licensing, Erin Logan. I'll try to get through today's meeting without any further ado. It being the first meeting of the year, I would take a motion with respect to the approval of the minutes for September 11, 2023, which I know you have all read.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of September 11th, 2023.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The first application is a application filed by Blue Moon at 430 Main Street, DBA Blue Moon, for a change of alcohol manager from Carlton Ferguson to Aubrey Foster. Mr. Flores and Mr. Decker will be voting on this matter. Is anybody here from Blue Moon? Come on right up here and identify yourself for the record into the microphone. And oh yeah. Before I get to you, excuse me because I made another mistake. The meeting is being televised via Channel 8 or on High Definition Channel 1072. And it may be accessed via the Government Access Channel live stream on the Town of Barnstable's website. It is being recorded in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20. If anyone else is recording this meeting, you would have to let me know at this point. Seeing none, I apologize, sir. Your name is?
Aubrey Foster.
Mr. Foster. And you will be the new manager?
Yes.
What could you describe for us your experience in handling alcohol and supervising the dispensing of alcohol?
Okay, I'm the owner and manager of Blue Moon. I have 4 or 5 years experience handling it. We just briefly changed manager, and now I want to just change it back.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Foster? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none?
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
What are your hours of operation going to be? I know that it's sort of been a little inconsistent.
In and out.
Yeah.
But that's based on customers. You know, the winter now is slow, so we're temporarily closed. But once the summer kicks in, we'll kick it up, say, from 12 o'clock to 1. Lunch and dinner.
All right, so are you going to have any long-term closures during the winter season?
Not guaranteed. I'm watching the seasons.
Okay. Just make sure that you stay in contact with Mrs. Logan.
There, yeah.
Because if it's going to be something that's long-term, you need to notify the licensing authority.
We're looking into possibility of relocating.
Okay.
So if that comes true, then it will be the full scale.
I'll let you address that. That's a whole bunch of other stuff.
In terms of the moving?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think you and I should absolutely be in touch. If we could, I will let the authority make the final determination, but I think ultimately it'd be nice if we could have some type of a set schedule that the public can rely on, whether that's 3 days a week for now or you figure out what works best for you, but let's try to perhaps in the next 30 days come up with a set schedule.
I said, okay.
And if it's okay if you want to come back, you can. It's an easy application. Just put it through the authority for formal approval. I mean, I think we're holding other businesses accountable to operating their license on a regular basis. We just want to make sure that you're doing the same.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be in touch, and then in terms of changing locations, just keep in
I'll keep
contact
you
with me, and we'll get you through the process.
Okay.
Mr. Flores?
Yeah, this is an annual license, correct, Aaron?
That's correct.
So as an annual license, you have to have specific hours, days and hours that are listed with the licensing board so that if a customer wants to come in, they know it's there as opposed to a seasonal license. So if you're going to be closed, you got to let us know or else the license becomes ineligible.
We did.
We applied for seasonal.
I'm sorry?
We applied for a seasonal license.
Could you speak into the microphone?
We applied for a seasonal license for this year, so it's not an annual.
Okay, I'm just going to clarify for the record. I had actually emailed back because there is an application process for that, and we did get your request for a temporary closure, and this came before the board in December. It was on the consent agenda. But we do need a formal application through the ABCC, through the town, to move to a seasonal license. And I think with that being said, if we know that's in the process, I think some of this conversation is moot at this point if the application is forthcoming.
So the bottom line here is, if you're going to have an annual license, then you've got to have set hours that you're operating consistently. You've got to stay in communication with Ms. Logan with respect to the hours that you're operating or closures that you're maintaining. If you do apply for a seasonal license instead of an annual license, of course, that means you'll be closed during the winter. And if that's what you apply for currently, then I think the board would be considerate of you closing for the remainder of the winter until that license takes effect. But that would be up to you. Okay?
Okay.
So with respect to a change of manager, I'd take a motion.
Are you closed now?
Yes, we're closed now.
Okay, and how many employees do you have when you are open?
It goes up to like 8, but depends on how busy it gets.
And they're all qualified to?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the change of manager application submitted by Blue Moon at 430 Main Street, DBA Blue Moon as submitted or amended.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, sir. Just please stay in touch, okay? But please.
Thank you.
The next matter is a special one-day entertainment license on an application filed by Roar, care of the Cape Cod Foundation, to hold the Roar Sober Dance, a sober dance to benefit opioid addiction recovery efforts. It will be held at the Barnstable Middle School, 895 Falmouth Road in Hyannis on March 16 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Entertainment to include recorded amplified music and live dancing by attendees. And again, Mr. Flores and Mr. Decker will vote on this matter at this point in time. Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
And you are?
I'm the co-founder of ROAR. My name is Karen Pina. And we've been doing ROAR, which is an acronym that stands for Ride for Opioid Addiction Recovery, since 2017. We typically have a motorcycle rally where we ride from one end of the Cape to the other. So this is for a one-day sober dance. This is a little different for us. So, of course, there'll be no alcohol because it's a sober dance. So if you have any questions, it's going to be at the school in the cafeteria. They typically have an AA meeting, I think, at that cafeteria as well. So that's how we kind of got the idea.
Have you spoken with everybody with respect to security and all the issues that are attendant with the middle school?
I have.
Anybody have any questions? Mr. Flores?
How many do you expect to have?
Well, this is the first time. We don't expect to have a huge number. I mean, if we get 100, we'll be happy.
Thank you.
Is there a fee?
There is $10 admission fee.
Can I ask just how many people would join in the motorcycle ride?
Oh, a lot. We've had up to 500.
So you wouldn't expect sort of the same attendance?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Motorcycle riders don't dance.
That's a lot different. Yeah.
So this is just your first year in having this?
Having the sober dance event, correct.
Any other questions? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the special one-day entertainment application for Roar as submitted or amended.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Next application is filed by Classic Jazz Visions, Inc., to hold Classic Jazz Visions, the photography of Jack Bradley, a photographic slideshow with live music by Classy Jazz and Swing Orchestra at the Barnstable Performing Arts Center, 1744 West Main Street, Hyannis, on June 11, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. Swing on up.
Good morning. My name is Michael Persico. I'm president of Classic Jazz Visions Incorporated. It's a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the artistic legacy of Jack Bradley. He was born and raised in Catuit and is a Barnstable High School graduate, but he was best known as Louis Armstrong's friend and photographer. This is our third season of doing Classic Jazz Visions. Our last public performance was in the Louis Armstrong Museum in Queens, New York, this past September. And I did a seminar for the Cape Cod Symphony Orchestra this past October. There's no fee, there's no charge for this concert. It is strictly to spread the word about Jack Bradley, and I've been in partnership with the Armstrong Museum for about 10 years now.
Very nice. Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Flores?
Yeah, I remember reading a story in the Cape Cod Times about him a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was an excellent, never realized how many pictures had been taken of Louis
if,
Armstrong.
If I may approach the bench. That's for you, and this gives you an idea of our...
And I'm just curious, in terms of the amplified music / orchestra, is it local musicians? Is it
All local musicians.
Bart Weissman in that crowd?
Our singer is Lori Colombo, Dave
Sure.
Colombo's
Oh,
sister.
Lori.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we have, everybody is from the Cape.
Will Freddie Boyle be playing?
No, actually, the one person who's not from the Cape is Russ Pito, but I'll be performing with Fred in April.
Great.
So you're doing it off Cape as well?
Yes, we're going to be doing the Shepherd Center in Fairhaven sometime in April, and we're looking to, actually, we're filming a TV special in Falmouth this Saturday, and we're giving a free performance you're invited to at the Mashpee Senior Center on Thursday night, February 2nd, February 8th at 6 o'clock, and I'll give you an idea of the show that we'll be doing in Barnstable.
Very nice. Anybody have any questions? Anyone?
Is there any alcohol being served at this?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Jazz and alcohol don't go together.
Of course not.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special one-day entertainment application for the Classic Jazz Visions, Inc., as submitted or amended.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck with it.
The next application is by the 99 Restaurants of Boston, LLC, DBA 99 Restaurant and Pub, 1600 Falmouth Road, Centerville, for a change of alcohol manager from Jessica Bello Stimson to Luke Porter. Mr. Porter, I presume.
That is correct.
Tell us about yourself, Mr. Porter, and your experience with operating an alcohol establishment.
I've been with the 99 since, sorry about that, since 2015. I've been a manager for the 99 since 2017. Been at this Centerville location as an assistant for the past 3 years, since just after COVID started. I've worked in Falmouth, Wareham, Plymouth, and Mashpee as well as a manager.
Are you tip certified?
I am.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
The lady that was the manager before was there quite a while, wasn't she?
Yes, I worked under her for a few years.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion.
Hold it.
Oh, I'm
Time
sorry.
out. Does anybody from the public have any comment on this license? You don't want to exclude them, Mr. Decker. Go ahead. Thank you.
Mr. Flores has a previous appointment. I'm trying to get him out of here.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the change of manager application for the 99 Restaurants of Boston LLC, DBA 99 Restaurants and Pub as submitted or amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. Next application is by 50 Airport LLC, DBA Caro Snow Cape Auto Sales, 50 Airport Road, Hyannis, to amend the corporate name to, and DBA to read Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Caro Snow Cape. Welcome, Mr. Boudreau.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. This is very straightforward. Same owner, different entity. We're looking to change the name on a Class 2 license from 50 Airport LLC, DBA Carros No Cape, which is Portuguese for cars on the Cape, to Cape Cod Used Cars with the same DBA Carros No Cape. Same hours, same operation.
Any questions? Anyone from the public? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Anthony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just want to remind that the right-of-way on Airport Road is quite wide, and there have been, in the past, there were some use of the right-of-way for parking. Just with the change of manager, I just call your attention to, we'd like to keep the cars out of the right-of-way as best we can. It sounds like you guys are aware of that already, but I wanted to bring it to your attention.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well noted.
Officer Kelsey.
Who is the owner of the dealership? I know when the move happened, there was this sharing of the property, I believe, between a repair shop and the dealership. So who actually owns the dealership?
State your name.
Hi, sir. Good morning. My name is Leonardo Vieira. I am the general manager over there.
Okay.
The business owner is Thales Lana. He's dead.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm doing this job, taking care of the business for him, but he owns the company for since 3 or 4 years right now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that Talos was still the owner on record. In the shared property, there is a repair shop there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all been taken care of through site plan and building, zoning? Everybody's happy with what's going on there?
Yes, we're working on the zoning board right now because there's 2 different business sharing the same building.
Right.
So we do the car sales, and there's a different company running the repair center.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application for a change of corporate name and DBA name for Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Carros No Cape, as submitted or amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Appreciate your time.
You too. Next application is filed by Stormy Sea Trust, DBA Stormy Sea Trust, 388 C Street, Hyannis, for a new lodging house license to include a maximum of 10 rooms and 20 guests. Matter is continued from December 27th meeting. Mr. Payne.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the board. So I purchased 388 C Street in 2022, and as recently as 2020, it had a lodging license at the property, so I'm just looking to get the same license now.
Okay. And you've been through all the site plan and all the inspections?
No.
Okay.
I have talked to the fire department, though, about the inspections.
Anyone else have any questions?
Go ahead, John.
No, I'm just, are you still with Trader Reds?
I am not. I mean, it's off-season, but I am not going back there.
You're not going back, okay.
Is this the one on the corner?
Correct.
And is this the one that was formerly that we had some issues with? Is this on the corner of Gosnell?
Yes. I don't know if you formerly had issues with it. I'm from the way I purchased it, I could understand that you may have had some issues.
Because there was a gentleman years gone by, it was Neil Carr, that owned it, and then his daughter, I believe, when he passed away,
That's who I
took
purchased.
over, and there were some issues, particularly with tenants. There was fights going on. There was all kinds of legal issues. So I'm sure that you won't let that happen.
Of course not.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Besides, I'm your neighbor, so
Well,
just in case.
I cleaned it all up, so hopefully it helps the neighborhood.
That's great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the lodging house application for Stormy Sea Trust as submitted or amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. An application filed by Smith Family Beer Garden, LLC, DBA Smith Family Beer Garden, 541 Main Street, Hyannis, to amend the all-alcohol common victual license from seasonal to annual. Morning, sir.
Morning. So I'm Dan Smith. I own Smith Family Beer Garden. Right now we've been operating as a seasonal license. The reason we chose a seasonal license in the first place was we really just had our outdoor space for the most part, plus access into the bathrooms. And then, if you guys remember, I was here September 11th to add seats inside, increase our capacity a little bit, and kind of renovate the inside of the building to make us a little more year-round. And then in November, I started the application for the annual license, just because I think it's more reflective of what we are and what we're striving to be. We've partnered with a barbecue company to kind of make us more of like a traditional restaurant rather than just kind of like your beer garden. So, yeah, I'm open to any questions.
And all of this is going to be inside? From the end of the season?
Yeah.
It's kind of an unfair question because it's weather-related, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the way I have it filed with the ABCC is I have two plans, ABCC and the health department. I have two plans, two seating plans, whereas like an off-season plan and an in-season plan, and it's the same amount of seats. It's just in the summer there's more seats outside than there are inside, and vice versa. So it's really weather dependent.
Mr. Flores.
Yeah. Have you mitigated the noise issues from the abutter that was complaining?
Yep, we haven't had any complaints since then. It's also been the off season. Everything that we've been doing has been inside. We had like an Oktoberfest type party with live music and no complaints there. I took your suggestions to heart, so been monitoring all the time. Anytime we have live entertainment, I'll go out to the end of my property and use a decibel reader, and I'll do a screen recording of that decibel reader just to kind of make sure it's nothing egregious or anything like that. And then we also switched the speakers on our like stage platform. It's kind of hard to describe, but if Main Street's here, our stage was here, and the speakers would kind of shoot parallel to Main Street. We've switched those out, so now we have any amplified sound coming out of our speakers are actually on our building facing out towards the street, the opposite of where our neighbor is. So
it sounds like you took our suggestions too from the May meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're going to be serving more meals now?
Yeah, that's the plan. So when we first started, we were operating a food truck and we were serving meals, but it was just proving really hard for me and my brother to operate everything with our popcorn business as well, the food, the bar, and so we partnered up with Junior Betts Barbecue, who's over in Dennis, Sam Bernard and his wife Haley. They were operating at Tubi Farms for the whole summer, so partnered with them, and it's been great. So they're kind of taking over our food element. And we're adding servers, and it's really kind of like a sit-down restaurant at this point.
And the plan for that is to continue through the summer?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's worked out great so far. We've been thrilled with it. They've been thrilled with it. So, we've always thought the location should be just like a very informal, kind of relaxed, like barbecue, beer type hangout spot. So that's what we're striving for.
Down home country picnic.
That's it.
Chair, if I may, for the record, I just want to make sure, and I'm sure you are, Just make sure you're in touch with the health department.
Yeah.
With all of those changes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
One question for the applicant and then a clarification for Mr. Flores. Do you anticipate having entertainment inside during the winter?
No. So part of when we got our certificate of occupancy with the building department, our building doesn't have a sprinkler system. So it's written on our certificate of occupancy, we're not allowed any nightclub activities as defined by CMR chapter whatever. Again, I do not want to operate a nightclub by any means. So he said Jeff Lazon from the building department just said, hey, look, anything you want to do, just run it by us first. So anything we do inside, he was like, look, if it's like a trivia night or someone with a piano in the corner or something like that, he's like, that's totally fine. But obviously no like bands or any like loud DJs or anything like that. So yeah, staying away from that. I mean, we're staying away from that just everywhere, not just inside, but especially inside.
Okay. And then concerning the complaints with the music and the entertainment, we did do several checks throughout the summer. I would say that the majority of the checks I didn't have any issues with. We did have a couple of nights where I did have a conversation with the ownership, and it was a little bit louder than it probably could have been at that time of night especially. It was right between 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when those conversations were had. And I actually believe it was the band. Not that I'm putting the responsibility on the band. It was just the type of music, the regular drum kit that they had, the bass. I mean, the band was great, but they were just too loud for the setting in which they were playing. And I think that you guys did address that.
Yeah, that's always. Look, I'm part of the community. It's one of those things that we've believed in since starting our popcorn shop. It's used to support the community, and the community will support you. So, you know, anytime we have live music, I'm super cognizant about it, and I'm always, you know, walking off my property and addressing it. But like I think it was John's suggestion of, hey, just have a decibel reader. So it's good to have, you know, numbers that kind of back up rather than me just kind of trying to figure out that line on my own. So that's kind of what I've been starting to do. And I'd like to actually talk with you of like what, you know, maybe what that decibel reading threshold is. Maybe we can talk offline and just kind of figure that out. So.
No, I applaud your level of responsibility.
Thanks.
Do you record those, as you take those readings, do you record them?
Yeah, so like I said, my last hearing was on the September 11th, and we only had one live entertainment since that date. So I've been kind of going out, and I've been trying to just get good at, you know, it's just right on my phone. It's a decibel reader on my phone, and I'll do a screen recording of that decibel reader as it's fluctuating. And I've been trying to do like a control. You know, I'll go out before the band actually goes on, or whoever, the live entertainment goes on, and just see, okay, this is the control, this is where we've been at, because this is what just normal road noise is. And then once the act starts up, has it gone up? Is it egregious or anything like that? So.
Okay, I think you're doing a great job.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Any other comments, questions? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the application for change of license class for the Smith Family Beer Garden LLC, DBA Smith Family Beer Garden, as submitted or amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Next application is filed by 867 Hyannis Operating LLC, DBA The Fairfield Inn and Suites at 867 Hyannis Road, Hyannis, for alteration of a premises to include a self-pouring station for malt and wine service in the lobby.
Good morning. Tomas Tolentino. I'm the general manager at the Fairfield by Marriott. The property opened in May of 2016, and I've been the general manager there since June of 2017. Currently, we have a small market directly to the right of the desk, which has single-serve beer and wine, and we're looking to put in a portable Pour My Beer station. It is a self-pouring beer and wine station. It is automated, and I know it's sent out there, but I'll explain the process of it. It's directly in front, across from where the front desk is located. Patrons will come up to the front desk. They will purchase a card that looks similar to this. The maximum amount on the card is $20 or 2 beverages. They will then go to the machine and swipe the card, and it will dispense the beverage of their choice. It is all automated so that it is on timed, so will be set up timed to specifically of our license. And again, the card can only be purchased at the front desk, so the identification process and all of that is all taken care of ahead of time. And again, the maximum that can be put on is $20, which is the equivalent of 2 beverages. We have done this in several other properties throughout Massachusetts. In the Hampton Inn in West Yarmouth is currently running this as well. I was over there yesterday, and I've been in contact with them through the process of how it works and have seen through it. We're just trying to increase our offerings. Some people don't like canned or bottled beer, and to be able to have a draft option is something that we would love to be able to offer our guests that are staying there.
And will the representative desk people be tip certified?
They currently are because of the what we currently sell.
Good.
And could I ask, please, what are the ounces of the beer and the wine?
The ounces of the wine are 7, and the beers are at 16.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores?
You said that someone comes up to the front desk and buys 1 card for 2 beers.
Correct.
Someone came up and said, I want 10 cards. What do you do?
We can only serve a maximum of 1 person, 1 card of a maximum $20 at a time.
So if somebody has 2 beers and they want a third or a fourth, they can't get one.
They would have to then, after they finish their 2 beers, they'd get a max, but the maximum is 2 cards per person per day.
2 cards per person per day.
Correct.
And will you still be serving out of the case?
We will, and just like we would for if we were serving people beers out of, or beverages out of the market, again, the staff is tip certified, so they know what to wear and the maximum allowed to be
Is there
drank.
any limit as to the number of beers you can buy out of the case?
The maximum per person is the same as 2 per person at a time.
But they could keep coming back and buying if they wanted.
If they buy 1 at a time, it's a maximum of 4.
Any other questions? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to speak to this? Seeing none, Mr. Decker?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application for an alteration of premises for 867 Hyannis Operating LLC, DBA Fairfield Inn and Suites, Hyannis, as submitted.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck. Next application is by Misaki Acquisition Group LLC, DBA Misaki Sushi Restaurant, 379 West Main Street, Hyannis, to transfer the all-alcohol common victual license from WKC Inc., DBA Misaki, to Misaki Acquisition Group LLC, DBA Misaki Sushi Restaurant. The application includes a pledge of collateral, and daily operations hours will remain unchanged.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. I'm Attorney Tyler Hensler from Upton, Cannell, and Devlin, representing Misaki Acquisition Group, LLC. As you said, this is a transfer of the liquor license to be exercised at the same location, which is 379 West Main Street in Hyannis, with also a pledge of the license. Joining me from Misaki is the proposed manager of record right behind me, Rex Galacia, and one of the LLC members in the back over there is Jeff Chan. This establishment will continue as a restaurant focused on food with alcohol mainly as an amenity to the food. Not the main focus. There is a pre-existing 6 to 8 seat bar, but again, mainly sushi at this restaurant. The public need for a license at this location with this concept is strong and demonstrated by the existing business. It's been there for several years. This is a unique concept for the area and hopes for continued success. As an existing business, it already has a strong client base in the area, and the new owners hope to make small improvements, but to the space and to the menu, but to preserve the successful concept. Very little will change. Mainly serve sushi as it exists now. They also plan on keeping a lot of the staff to ensure continuity. The bottom line, this will be the same concept menu, floor plan as before, just new, more hands-on management. Further, the character and fitness of this applicant is strong. Rex Galacia, as LLC manager and the manager of record, has been working in the industry for nearly 10 years. He has worked as a sous chef at Italy, Zuma, and Ramsey's Kitchen in Boston. No violations to speak of. Rex is also a resident of Massachusetts, a citizen of the United States, is familiar with the rules and regulations regarding the sale and service of alcohol of this board, the ABCC, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and he has experience in the industry, which I just mentioned earlier. He is also ServSafe certified. He's experienced with the supervision of the service and sale of alcohol, and he is recently signed up for the TIP certification. So by the time that this transfer gets through the ABCC, he will also have TIP certification as well as ServSafe. The applicant is purchasing the existing business with a loan from Eastern Bank. As such, the applicant is also applying for a pledge of the license to Eastern Bank as collateral security for this loan. At the end of the day, this is a low-key operation, but we are committed to a continuing relationship with the police department and the town, all the same. But before I conclude, I'd like to thank Erin Logan for her help in preparing for this hearing. We're very happy to take any questions. Thank you for your time.
Does anybody have any questions? Anything from the staff? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? All right, you got big shoes to fill because it's been a pretty popular spot for a long time. So, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the application for transfer of the annual all alcohol common victor license to Masaki Acquisition Group, LLC, DBA Masaki Sushi Restaurant, as submitted or amended.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next application is by Cape Concepts, LLC, DBA Cove Coastal Kitchen, 615 Main Street, Unit 14, in Hyannis for a new annual all-alcohol common victual license with seating capacity for 124 inside and 20 outside seats. Proposed manager of record is Jennifer L. Warner, with operational hours from Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 a.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Sir.
Hi, good morning. My name's Chad Yates. I'm the attorney for Cape Concepts LLC, DBA Cove, which I think we've already addressed, Ms. Logan, about the correct name. It has an Eon Cove Coastal Kitchen. There's a previous business there that had a bar and restaurant, Tasty Crab. This is right at the corner of Main Street at the end. And so we're just asking that we're not going to transfer the license. It's just a new application process, just to make it more simple here today. The focus is going to be mostly on food. There's only 16 seats at the bar. You can see the capacity is 124 inside, but again, there's only 16 seats at the bar, so that's not the major focus here. In addition, her husband will also be helping out managing the restaurant side and food, and he's got over 35 years of experience and also numerous restaurants as well, so this is just a continued business. In addition, all the abutters have been notified. I don't think we've seen anybody here today, but of course there can be time for that. In addition to that, again, we're at the corner, so we can't imagine too many problems because there's going to be traffic. There's not really any tenancies nearby where it's going to be a problem with sound as well. In addition, we're willing to work with the police if anything comes up. Again, that there will be some live music during the day, but I love the idea of a decimal reader, so I mean, I'll ask my client to buy one of those and just have that on site as well. That's about it, and we're open for questions. Thank you. And again, thank you, Ms. Logan. We really appreciate all your help in this process. You've been wonderful.
Happy to help, and if I can just kind of jump in before we get started. We will need just an entertainment application at some point. And
Okay.
obviously with the lead time with the ABCC, there's plenty of time to get that in. It is a noticed application, so the abutters will need to be notified again. And you will have to come back to a hearing. But again, you have some time, so we'll work on that after this.
Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Flores?
What kind of a restaurant will it be?
Jennifer, you can speak about the restaurant.
Yes, good morning, everyone. It will be fine dining. My husband is an excellent cook. He's been cooking for me. We met actually when we worked together. I was the assistant to the general manager at a hotel, and he worked in the restaurant and cooked lunch for me every day. And so I've been eating his cooking since 1988, and he's a wonderful, wonderful chef. And an experienced, knowledgeable, and very he's an excellent manager. We managed a restaurant together for 5 years, and I know we will be responsible owners and responsible owners.
Sounds like you have a good harassment claim. Just one other question, Ms. Warner. Entertainment.
Yes.
What kind of entertainment do you plan?
We both love music. So as I said, this will be a fine dining restaurant. We would like to have alcohol as part of the dining experience. And to Erin's point, we will fill out an entertainment application. But occasionally, it might be nice to have live music. So I don't envision music during dinner, no? No, yeah.
Right, and you're obviously aware of the uniqueness of the space with respect to the units upstairs and other issues related to that.
Yes.
So we can deal with that more with respect to the entertainment license, but obviously ambient noise is an issue, so we'll be mindful of that. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, staff, Officer Kelsey.
I see that you are the manager of record. What is your experience in the hospitality world?
I do have restaurant experience. As I said, my husband and I worked together managing a restaurant for 5 years. And so that was in Somerville, a place called Urban Gourmet. And so he and I have worked together. I will be on site part-time. For now, I'm keeping my day job, but I will be there part-time, and he will be there full-time. And I'm looking down the road towards my retirement. This is my vision and dream of being there more often as time goes along.
Okay. And what have you taken into account for parking issues?
Well, there's street parking available. So Main Street, of course, especially on season, is a popular tourist walking venue. So I anticipate people parking on the street and walking.
There's a lot right around the corner, too. The West End lot.
Yeah, West End lot is right around the corner.
And there was an existing restaurant and bar there as well. So.
Oh, well aware there's been a restaurant or a bar of some type there for 30 or 40 years.
Long time.
More than that.
None of them have been fine dining. So when I think of fine dining, I think of I want to pull into a parking space and walk into the restaurant, not necessarily park in a parking lot a quarter mile away and then walk up there.
Well, aren't you?
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. It was just a curiosity.
Understood. Thank you.
Is everyone TIPS certified? Or will be? Okay.
My husband is.
And you will be?
I will be, yes.
Okay. Mr. Anthony?
I'm curious, you keep saying fine dining, but you haven't really described, you like a Grill 23, a Capital?
It's coastal cuisine. Basically, I grew up.
You can come up.
I grew up working in. I'm a native of Falmouth.
Uh-huh.
I started in restaurants when I was 13 as a dishwasher. I've worked in restaurants down here and hotels. So basically, the food will be my experience in life. I'll be taking, food you might have had, basic Cape Cod, we're calling it coastal cuisine, and kind of elevated it. You just bring it up, chefing it up a little bit. So, we'll do stuffed cod, we'll do, oysters, things like that. Sure. Lots of shellfish, steaks. So it's not really fine dining. I mean, we're not, this is Cape Cod. Everything's casual. We're elevated casualness is what we're looking for. When nobody's pulling up in suit and ties, and there's.
That was really my question.
Yeah, it's everything down here is casual.
Okay.
We'll be that. We'll be doing what everybody else is doing. Only I'll be putting my spin on it, basically.
Thank you.
Mr. Anthony.
Comfort food. His expertise is, well, in my opinion, he does best with comfort food. Comfort food and sauces, his flavors are out of this world. It'll be good.
So the only thing I'd like to bring up from a land management standpoint is the use of outdoor seating for a lot of the restaurants on Main Street falls into two categories. There are several restaurants that have year-round permission to use the town sidewalks, the right-of-way. And then coming through COVID, we extended the use out onto the sidewalks to be able to allow people to kind of extend their restaurants and do outdoor dining with social distancing. Post-COVID, some restaurants have retreated back to the way things were, and others have kind of adopted the outdoor dining based on the COVID footprints, not on the year-round. So we're going to be examining all of the restaurants on Main Street to just make sure that people fall into the one category or the other to make sure. And this is one of the restaurants that we have on our list to just take a look and make sure that where the right-of-way is and where that boundary is and whether or not there's a license that's needed to use a sidewalk. So we'll be reaching out. That has nothing to do with this license. It's a different kind of license through the town manager's office. So just the use of the sidewalk.
Oh, understood. We'll look forward to the correspondence and make sure we address anything there. Very good.
Does anyone from the public wish to speak to this? See, I'm sorry, Mr. Decker, you have a question?
It has in the application that the proposed manager is Jennifer. But if you're going to be keeping your full-time job, who's going to be there to be manager when you're not there?
My husband.
Okay, but you're only going to be there part-time, correct?
Just initially. And this is a day job, so she'd be right afterwards.
Okay, I guess that poses a question, I think, doesn't it, Aaron?
Well, I think the answer is that she has a day job, but this is a nighttime occupation, so she'll be there just as much as she would were she not working another job. So in essence, she's working two jobs full-time, as I understand it, Counsel.
Yes. Thank you.
As long as somebody can reach her if there's an issue.
Correct, and all the contact information is there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Actually, just one. What are the hours of operation going to be?
It's in the proposal that was read, and it was
8 to 8 a.m.
No, 8 a.m. is not correct.
Yeah, so
That was sort of where I was going with this.
yeah, it's not
Yeah, that's not correct.
No, it'd be 11 a.m.
till
1 a.m.
Till 1 a.m. Okay.
And then Sunday, you're going to do 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.?
Yeah, just to do brunch.
Yep.
Thank you for the correction.
We'll make that in the motion, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application for the transfer of the annual all-alcohol common victor license to the Cape Concept LLC DBA Cove Coastal Kitchen as submitted with the change of hours of operation from 11 a.m. to 12:45 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 12:45 a.m. on Sunday.
And just to further amend that, it's not a transfer, it's a new application. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck. I look forward to it.
Thank you. Have a great morning.
Thank you.
Next application is by 235 Ocean Partners LLC, The Break, 235 Ocean Street, Hyannis, for a new annual all-alcohol common victual license with seating capacity for 160. Proposed manager is Sean Richards. The hours of operation are proposed to be 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Attorney Corain, welcome to the Great West.
I thank you.
East, I'm sorry.
I don't get out of Mashpee that much, but good to be in front of everybody today. Again, for the record, Attorney Christopher Corain. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm here representing 235 Ocean Street Partners LLC. With me today are Adrian Prislak. He is one of the owners of the LLC, and also Sean Richards, who is the proposed manager. This is a restaurant that's a new license application for a restaurant at the Harborview Hotel. There used to be a restaurant there, the Harborview, I think it was called the Harborview Restaurant. So Adrian is going to be taking over that space and, setting up a new restaurant there. The only thing I want to correct is when we originally filed, we thought we would do, we had different space allocated for like a market. That's not a feasible plan right now, so we want to just stick with what the Harborview had for seating and capacity, which is on their old license, which is 240 seating and an occupancy of 261. So we just want to stick with what's existing there, and that's what was existing on the license for Harborview. So we're sticking completely within that. As far as qualifications, as you may know, Adrian is one of the owners of both Fancy's Market and Wimpy's, so he is certainly well knowing of the responsibilities of serving alcohol. Sean himself is the manager at Wimpy's, so again, he has local ties, and he is, understands the responsibility of alcohol and is certainly available. So he'll be splitting his time between the Wimpy's restaurant and this new restaurant that's coming up. There probably will be an entertainment license coming before this board at some time in the future, but no entertainment is proposed through this application today. So happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
So, with respect to Mr. Richards, is he going to try to be manager at both places?
That is correct. They split his time between the two.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
You said on the application, you had 160 as the occupancy, and you said what was on the other one?
The seating was 240, and the occupancy was 261. That was for the Harborview restaurant, so we're just staying.
Okay, you know that they operated on 2 floors, right?
Yes, and this will be operated on 2 floors as well.
You're going to be operating on 2 floors?
That is correct. Nothing's changing.
Because there's no way that you can get 160 even on the first floor.
No, understood. But yes, we'd be using both floors, and there is outdoor patio, which I think Harborview had approximately 40 seats.
That's included, isn't it?
That is included in that.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores?
Yeah, I mean, that used to be the old Hyannis Anglers Club for years. I assume the parking lot in the back is still part of the ownership?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And you've shelved the market for right now, but do you have any plans maybe later to come back with that?
Perhaps. I think they have to explore that. It just wasn't feasible at this time. So I think there's some other, whether it's zoning or other licenses.
So you're going to kind of keep a space in mind?
Yes, exactly. So.
Okay.
And just one other quick question. I realize that the proposed manager will be splitting his time between Wimpy's and here. Summertime, both can get very, very busy. How will that be resolved?
Yeah, I can let Sean.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
So in regards to my experience, I'm entering my 40th year in the restaurant industry. I started at 13. I worked for Charlie Sarkis for 13 years, Roger Berkowitz for 8. Most of my experience is in the Boston area. I have, I would say, well over a decade of managing multiple units at the same time. With Charlie Sarkis, I was a regional bar manager. I ran my own bar where I bartended, but I also supervised 6 others. So this isn't this type. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
You're talking Charlie Back Bay Restaurant Group?
Yes. So managing multiple units is not something necessarily new to me. I took over as director of operations for Adrian and Adam Hostetter's group. They also own Fancy's, so I manage both Fancy's and Wimpy's, okay? I'll be backing off of Fancy's probably quite a bit with this endeavor, and we'll be focusing on the restaurants and, until such a time that we have appropriate management in place. But nonetheless, I'll be splitting my time likely more so in the new endeavor and less so, I would say, with the with Wimpy's as it's, stabilized. However, it's a position where, I have to work as much as is needed, If it's 35, then hours a week, then that's what it entails, you know? Do you guys, anybody else have any questions about how?
If you're not at
we
one or
might-
the other, there'll be a designated person in your absence. I
Oh,
assume.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we have a full management team at Wimpy's right now. Part of the idea is everybody who works at Wimpy's is going to be at the new location as well. So people will be splitting their time so we can have the culture at both places as well.
Okay, just as long as there's somebody of authority available at each location.
All the time. In my position, I'm on call at all times, regardless of the time of day.
Anyone else have any questions? Officer Kelsey?
I just want to get clarification. You know what, I'll start backwards because you're here right now. I think you've answered the question, but if we go in to do a compliance check, I usually say, who's the manager on record?
Yep.
I want to talk to them. Well, if you're in Osterville, how does that work?
I would come right over.
Okay. And I'm not saying with your group, I mean, obviously, historically, I can't even remember a time where we've had any issues with Wimpy's. So I would anticipate you're going to run this business
Same exact
very
way.
similar to
Yep.
that. But that being said, if I go in other locations, sometimes like, oh, the manager's not here, they're not available. And I think we sort of were tiptoeing around that with the last applicant as well. So I just want to make sure that there's going to be somebody there that actually can make a decision and actually
Absolutely.
take responsibility for something.
So to answer your question, we have a very colleague-esque approach in our culture. So there's nobody higher than anybody else in the way we approach it. Yes, some people make technically different decisions than other people, but we try to empower our management team to do what's best for the business at the time, like in the middle of the game. If there's a decision that needs to be made, great, then we make it, you know? I obviously can't be in both places at the same time. I'm one of the final decision makers, you know, but in the interim, so you say we're to come into Wimpy's and I happen to be over here in Hyannis. Whoever's managing that day has the authority to address whatever concerns you may have and make the appropriate adjustments right away. And as any testament to that, we are very attentive to whatever the town desires or concerns that they have. As I'm sure our health department inspector, Catherine Soto, will be happy to address like how reactive we are. The minute we, you know, if there's any concern, I've been dealing with Erin for the last year, we are all, the entire management team, very proactive. And we don't take it lightly, whatever the town desires.
No, great, thank you. The second question I had was, and this is more of a clarification.
Yep.
You had talked about the application, the original application. I don't have it in front of me. So you talked about it had plans for a marketplace, and then the capacity was going to change. So this new plan that you're proposing right now,
Right.
is with the capacity and seats for just the restaurant bar.
Yes.
Is that what's on paper right now?
Yes.
Okay.
We did submit a amended page 3 to the ABCC that shows what I'm requesting right now.
Okay.
So,
If I may, for the record, if it's not clear, because I was out of the room, that marketplace was never, the operations that were going to happen there would never fall under the licensing authority. So just for the clarification's sake, so they're not, there's nothing.
Just changes the occupancy.
Correct. Sorry, thank you.
Mr. Flores?
Just two quick questions. So I assume that 235 Ocean Partners is having a long-term lease from the Newport Group?
yes.
Because they own the building?
That
Okay,
is
number-
correct, and that
okay.
was submitted, the lease was submitted with the
Okay.
permitting.
And secondly, the upstairs, which used to be the old Hyannis Anglers Club where I spent many hours, it's not handicapped accessible. It's just a staircase going up on the side. From an ADA compliance perspective, is that going to be an issue?
To our knowledge, I believe the previous ownership did address that with the state, and by right, I think it's 5% ADA compliance for seating, and we're well exceeding that on the first floor.
Okay.
And I think the old ownership group did go to the state, and the state just kicked it right back. They were like, there's nothing to see here. And then they got the building.
I just raise it as an awareness issue so that.
Yeah, we're fully aware.
Because we've had ADA issues that we've
That,
dealt with.
that is part of the reason why there's a number of issues why we changed from trying to go after that market right now. It's a timing issue as well, but the ADA, I think, would come into play if we were to
Change
do
the
that.
seating.
Because we have a disability commission in town, and usually there are designated parking spaces for handicapped, and I know
Yep.
the first two on the left corner there of Nantucket Street are usually designated, so
Correct.
just an awareness issue.
Yes, we're fully aware.
So you're changing the seating capacity from 160 to 240?
Yes, yeah, the application originally was 160 based on a potential market concept, but that market concept is not, we're not moving forward with that. So we're going back to what was originally approved under the old Harborview license. So we're sticking with what has been approved in the past.
Anyone else have any questions? I'm sorry Officer Kelsey wasn't around for all the raucous brawls at Wimpy's in the past, but I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application for a new annual common victor license to 235 Ocean Street Partners LLC, DBA The Break, as submitted with the amendment to the seating capacity from 160 to 240.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Good to see you. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Aaron.
And just for the public's edification, the Osterville Veterans Association will be closed from February 22nd through April 4th. And then we have a consent agenda item with respect to the Cape Cod Maritime Museum and History on Tap. Must be the history of beer. I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the correspondence, I move to accept
No, we don't need one on that, just on the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the consent agenda as printed.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public have anything they wish to address? Seeing none? Oh, we can address our town council liaison who's in the room.
Oh, I didn't see him, Bill.
Mr. Tamish, welcome to the party.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I just wanted to introduce myself. I think I know pretty much everybody here. Nancy, I don't think I'm familiar with you.
I don't believe so.
Just so you're aware, I'm the new town council liaison. I've been in the town. I worked for the town for 41 years, ending up as the deputy chief of the Barnstable Police Department. Worked very closely with Chris, sometimes on the opposite side of the table when he was the union president, but we won't go down that road.
I don't know who this man is.
But anyway, I look forward to working with you, and you know, I hope to be a resource for you for whatever we on the town council can do to make your job a little bit easier.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do we have any police department updates?
None for this. Well, actually, I'll take that back. I think next meeting, we may have an update on the car dealership that we have been dealing with for quite some time.
Again?
I can't say it's negative. I think there's just some changes.
Oh, good.
All right. There's some light. Ms. Logan, anything from your department?
I think, no, we wrapped up renewals, annual renewals, seasonal renewals start in February. I start calling for applications. Those should be before you late March. I would like to point out, typically this time of year with the seasonals, we were having 2 meetings in April. And I'm looking at the possibility of holding a Zoom meeting if need be for the consent agenda. I think that worked really well in December when we didn't have a quorum. We just put the consent agenda out there on a Zoom. It was done. It was quick. And I would only propose that if it's necessary to get, applications in order to get approved for April 1st. That aside, and Officer Kelsey and I are starting to talk about the annual alcohol compliance meeting. We're also talking about holding the similar meeting that we had with the ABCC last year and all of the Cape and Islands reps, law enforcement, licensing board members, and things like that. So we're in the beginning stages of that. So that information will be forthcoming. And other than that, I think I'm done for today.
God save the Queen.
One of the things that I would just like to put out there for your consideration as we're planning these meetings, as we noticed last year, it was standing room only in here. And in an effort not to have to do multiple meetings, we have talked about the possibility of moving the meeting off-site to a larger location. And we might even be able to do the annual alcohol meeting and then the meeting with all of the licensing representatives from the Cape and Islands all on the same day, 2 different sessions. And that way we are minimizing the travel for any attorneys that we bring in, as well as the representatives from the ABCC. There's been no decision on that. It's just something that we're thinking about and just wanted to put out there for your consideration as well.
Could it be a Zoom meeting also?
My personal preference is to have an in-person meeting, especially with
Oh, it
the-
is mine too, but I'm just curious. Is
Oh.
there any reason it couldn't be a Zoom?
We
From a
did
legality
Zoom, we did
perspective?
Zoom meetings throughout the pandemic with
Right.
the annual meeting, and I don't feel like it was as effective, just my personal feeling. And I think that we did get some questions throughout the year from different license holders that they said, oh, well, I didn't quite understand this, or I didn't get this, or frankly, they just didn't sign up for the meeting because we don't make it mandatory anymore. So I think the in-person meeting, we tend to get more attendance and more representation than we did with the Zoom meeting.
Okay, just curious.
But yeah, is it a possibility? Yeah, for sure.
Or a combination of both, you know?
I might be reaching here, but we might be able to get communication staff over to record the meeting. That's what, we recorded the meeting here last year and posted it on our website so that folks who couldn't make it could at least go ahead and watch it. So that might be a possibility.
I think to Officer Kelsey's point is if they're not in the room, they're not going to pay attention. So
It's true.
in person is probably
It's more effective.
the only way to get the message across, but thank you. Mr. Anthony, anything from your point of view?
Thank you. The only thing that, as mentioned before with the one applicant, we're going to be taking a look at how the sidewalk gets used on Main Street for a number of reasons. One, simply because some of the existing agreements have started to get stale, and it's good policy to just go back in and make sure that they're fresh, and that the lines are dark and everybody knows exactly what they're licensed for and what they're not. We do still have a little bit of carryover and some confusion about those outdoor dining temporary sites for COVID-related, and we just want to clarify that. And we've had a number of businesses turn over, so that tends to lead to people thinking that it's always been that way. So we just want to clarify it before the summer season comes in.
Great. And
If I may, Chair, just going to tag on to that. The outdoor dining allowance from the state expires on March 31st of this year. Everything I am hearing through the grapevine is that it will not be extended again. That does not mean my word is this is just what I'm hearing. So just a word to our license holders, if you have outdoor dining and it is not on your alcohol license, you absolutely need to get in for an alteration of premises. I am not chasing people down. Folks know what they need.
let me just make sure I understand.
Sure.
The state will not automatically continue the outdoor extension of the premises to the outside as they did under COVID regulations. But the people can still, through the town, utilize the outside, but under the ABCC regulations would have to amend their license to include that additional premises area and seating.
absolutely correct. So it's not that it's not available for free, so to speak, anymore.
And it all expires March 31st, is what you
March
said?
31st, correct.
there's
And
gotta
our outdoor dining agreements tend to go into force effective April 1st.
There's going to be a lot of scrambling going on.
Yeah, that's my point. It's only a couple months away.
Well, it's only a couple months away, number one, but, you know, you've got to get an application filed here and approved here, and then you got to go to the ABCC, so you're looking at least 12 weeks by the time you're doing that. You know, you're going to be creeping up on, I'm not sure we'll have any good weather by June, but maybe by June, people are going to be having Officer Kelsey stop by and say,
So the expiration of the state guidelines are going to impact a lot of different communities, and one of the thoughts is that maybe the ABCC puts in some adjustments, recognizing that there are a lot of cities and towns that are going to be faced with this paperwork onslaught. Haven't heard what that solution might be. We're also going to be prepared so that town manager licenses are in place, which are not something that come before this licensing authority, but it is part of the asset management responsibilities to make sure that if somebody's going to use the sidewalk, proper insurance is in place. So there are several layers to this, and we are going to have to work through it. But we kind of knew that this deadline was coming, and the closer we get and the less noise we hear that it's going to be extended, the more important it is to try to get ahead of this as best we can.
it would be nice if the ABCC would at least extend it if there is a pending application in process. That way, we're not going to have, but practicality and reality seldom meet.
This is sure.
And I would take a motion to adjourn until our next meeting. I'll amend it too, but, Mr. Decker?
I make a motion to adjourn to February 28th.
All in favor?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.